A concession is a formal agreement or acknowledgement made by one party, often in negotiations or discussions, where they yield or grant certain rights, privileges, or benefits to another party. It typically involves compromising on certain terms, conditions, or demands to reach a mutually acceptable resolution or outcome. Concessions can be made in various contexts, including business negotiations. Some example of concessions offered by a supplier such as discounts, credits, free product, services or rebates. There are several reasons a supplier will offer concessions to a customer. The first is spend. This can be total company spend or spend by product, service or category. Increased usage and consumption also play a factor and can also be tied to spend. Timing your deals are vital during the supplier's quarter or year-end. Term. Suppliers want to book long-term revenue. Suppliers will offer additional concessions for longer-term engagements. Market conditions also play a major factor in the concessions offered to a customer by a supplier. If the demand is low or inventory is high for a particular product, pricing concessions may be aggressive versus a surplus in demand and inventory constraints.
So let's talk about some basic strategies in order to maximize our buying power in order to provide the reasonings that a supplier may be looking for. So the first one is consolidation, co-terming, and deal leveraging. So this is important. If you purchase software, you may have several different licenses throughout your organization with the same supplier that may end at different points in the year. And so to maximize our buying power, what we could do is we do something called a co-term, which is consolidating all of our licenses into one deal that is going to show a bigger spend on that deal and therefore allow the supplier to provide deeper discounts to you. And the way that this is done is that you have different licenses that expire throughout the year. The licenses that still have time on them, the supplier will often give you a credit for any type of months that have already been paid. And then now that would allow you to consolidate all of the licenses into one deal in which the credits that was received for the other licenses would apply, plus whatever discounts that they're providing to you for launching a long-term deal with consolidating all your various licenses. But it can also reduce some of the overhead and administrative work that goes into negotiating the deal. I just have to negotiate one deal for all my licenses at that one time, and I won't have to worry about negotiating it again of the term of the agreement. Now, that's not the only way to consolidate. We had the banana exercise where I looked at everybody in my family and there were different use cases for bananas, and then consolidated our need for bananas to increase our buying power and therefore help us to increase our spend or show a larger amount of spend so that the supplier will provide a discount to us and ultimately resulted into cost savings. The same thing happens within an organization. Looking at different business units, and there may be the same type of licenses being procured throughout all those business units, and I could bring all of them together. Sometimes there are different licenses, software licenses, that do the same thing. So now I could bring all the business units together and align the needs of several different business units or several different departments and increase my buying power, and that would allow me to get to optimize the incentives. Other times, there's other deals that are in place. It may not have any relationship, but I may be doing business with one supplier where one deal is $50,000, and then another business unit is doing business with that same supplier and they're doing millions of dollars in business. So I could just piggyback their deal to try to get additional savings on my deal. And so that's called deal leveraging. Let's talk about unlimited volume and tiered pricing models. Have a strategy where maybe you're in a usage-based deal and you realize that your usage is very high and you're overspending, maybe you're paying per minute, let's just say, or you're paying, per click or your per usage of that particular product or service, and it may behoove you to enter into an unlimited all you can eat type of engagement that could provide cost savings for your organization. So it's best to take a look at your need, your demand, and figure out where are you trending. Maybe an unlimited model would be more sufficient. Maybe it's a volume-based or tiered pricing model. And in these type of pricing models, you get incentivized as your demand starts to go up for that particular product or service. Appetizing to organizations that are unsure of what their demand is going to be and are unwilling to make a long-term commitment. This is a way of capturing savings in those type of scenarios. The next one is planning orders around key supplier dates. Supply chain is not the one that is creating the forecast. Our business partners are creating the forecast. And it's important for them to know when these key dates are so that they can plan accordingly. To wait until a supplier's year end or quarter end to time my purchases. I want to consolidate. I want to increase my buying power, and I want to purchase at the right time. You would get the most aggressive pricing discounts. Consider entering into a long-term agreement with payment terms and termination rights.